What is up, NFC East football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC East Roundtable powered by BetUS. Week 9 is in the books, and we're off to the double digits. Week 10 is here, and tonight we will preview all of the games within the NFC East here on the NFC East Roundtable's NFL Week 10 preview episode. In order to do it, let's bring in the fellas, Al, J, Tuck, KB, and Rio. Got a pretty good slate of games, fellas, within the division this weekend, including an interdivisional battle between Al's Eagles and J Tuck's Cowboys. But we kick things off across the pond out in London. How lucky are we, folks, to enjoy this one between the Giants and the Panthers?
Yuck.
9:30 a.m. Eastern right now over on BetUS. The Giants, just to give you an idea of truly how awful the Carolina Panthers are, despite coming off their second victory of the season this past weekend against the New Orleans Saints, who fired their coach in the process. These Giants are a 6.5-point favorite, more than a touchdown favorite against these Panthers over the pond there. If you want to get in on that game or all the games we talk about tonight, any of the games within week 10, you can do so using the promo code YouTube150 on BetUS. That'll get you a 150% sign up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit and a 125% bonus on your next two after that. Let's get into it. Despite the fact that the game might not be the best on the docket, it's still morning football, and I love waking up and getting right after it. That's what we get to do in this Giants and Panthers game. So, Al, I'll start with you. I'm wondering, is this a game anybody really wants to win right now? This could be the difference between the top pick and the draft here.
This seemed like the Tank Bowl right now, but if I had to give a victory to somebody, I give it to the Giants. I think the Giants got the better defense, of course, and I think they could do things to slow down the Carolina Panthers, and they could score enough points to win. Maybe it's like a 21-17 type game. But if the Giants want that good draft pick, I mean, they'll try to lose on purpose. I want the Giants to win so they could fall out of the draft place to get a quarterback and turn it around. So I actually want them to win this game.
I misspoke, by the way. It's not London. It's actually Germany.
Germany.
Yeah. I keep forgetting the amount of places the NFL is playing. I think next year they're in where Spain is it next year? That just continues to keep rolling here and growing. And I know the game a couple of years ago, Tom Brady played in it in Germany, and it was insane. They said the atmosphere was crazy. So regardless, it's gonna be a fun one for the people of Germany. They're gonna show out despite who's playing in the game. And this one is between two teams right now that you're at the point of the year right now, Jay Tuck, where you're starting to consider next year. These two teams certainly are right now, and it just makes you wonder what exactly is on the line here on Sunday. So if you had to choose, which way are you going to go between these two opponents on Sunday over in Germany?
Yeah, Giants fans, win this one if you want to. It's going to be tied up with the Cowboys for the Shadur Bowl. We're going to get the Shadur Bowl. And then all you have to do is beat us on Thanksgiving and slide your way out of quarterback position, maybe into Carson Beck. But, yeah, I think
you ain't getting Shadur. What are you talking about?
No, we're going to get him and hold him hostage.
You guys are Dak all the way, baby.
We need 4 first-round picks. We need Dexter Lawrence. We need to get up all that off you. How bad you really want them. But, yeah, I think even though, they're talking about kind of tank bowl, right? I still think the Giants are going to win this game, even though Bryce Young was kind of good to kind of see him get his kind of redemption game. So there's a lot of uncertainty about the young kid, but I think the Giants will go out there and win this game. Hopefully Daniel Jones is able to carry off what he did last week versus the Commanders. But those early morning games, whether it's London, Germany, France, wherever it is, they never go as planned, right? It's early. We're going to be watching those games. KB's probably going to be eating cereal and stuff, watching his Giants play. But ultimately, I think the Giants' defense is going to be too much for the Panthers. I think Malik Neighbors is probably going to have a big game. I think Daniel Jones is going to continue his stride. So I got the Giants winning this game. 3-3 tied with the Cowboys. How about that?
Speaking of those Cowboys, Jay Tuck, man, fire Mike McCarthy, hire Dion, draft Shadur. It would complete the Jerry Jones cycle of Jerry Jones things. It would be insane. Sign me up for that any day of the week. But this game could have some determination in terms of who actually gets Shadur Sanders. So, Rio, who do you think winds up coming out of here victorious, whether that be on the field or towards their draft position?
Man, NFL fans don't deserve to watch this football game on Sunday. This is punishment to Germany, by the way. This game may set the sport back 30 or 40 years. I expect ugly quarterback play, ugly football. You know, Daniel Jones only puts the battery in his back when Washington's on the other sideline. So expect him and Bryce Young to be on a level playing field in Germany on Sunday. Last time we seen a game in Germany, it was lit. They were singing every word to songs in the third quarter of the game. Germans are going to treat this like a festival, one big ass bar crawl, because there's nothing on the field that's going to keep anybody's attention for 60 minutes. But the Giants are going to win, and I'm here for it, because for the second year in a row, they're going to play themselves out of a chance for a top quarterback. You know what you're going to be looking at, KB? You better brush up on that LSU film. Garrett Nussmeier.
The Nuss Bus. The Nuss Bus.
The Nuss Bus is coming to New York, and he definitely looks like John Mara's type over the other guys. But,
I got
winning football games. I'm here for it. You're already at 2 wins in what, the 9th spot right now?
Seventh spot with 2 wins through 9 weeks. Win a game, you may drop to the teens. I'm all here
13,
for
it. 13.
Garrett fire to New York. I'm starting it up right now, and I'm wishing that existence on KB's Giants. It's going to be a nasty 19-18. I don't know how you even get to those numbers. It's going to be like 19-18 in Germany.
Yeah, who knew Germans were such big Neil Diamond fans, Real?
I know.
Sweet Caroline, every word the last time they were.
Every lyric, every bar of the song.
You know, it's a good point you make, Real. Right now in the AFC, there are 6 teams with 2 wins. There is some bad football at the bottom this year, and every win right now in terms of draft capital, it could be crucial one way or the other. Now, KB, I know you're already on record. You're ready to restart this thing with a new quarterback. So I got to ask you, and this is the worst position to be in as a sports fan. Where are you at going into this Sunday game, knowing that the opponent you're playing is also an opponent you're kind of fighting for in terms of getting your best opportunity to revamp this Giants team in the offseason?
Yeah, this is a really, really interesting time to be a Giants fan, especially at this point of the season, because now we're seeing fans, content creators, including myself, where we're actually kind of sitting back pondering like, damn, I think we actually want to lose this game. Like, I think we're actually going to root to lose this game. I never thought I would kind of be there as a fan. I'm still not completely there yet, but at the same time, you know, I would still be in the back of my head thinking, like, if we won this game, like, damn, now we're even further away from getting a top-tier quarterback and having a top draft spot. So, you know, what is really worth beating the Carolina Panthers? We go back to 2023, that season where Tommy DeVito had 3 straight wins, and the rest of the NFL was like, oh my God, Tommy DeVito and doing this everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And talking about chicken cutlets and Tommy cutlets and this, that, and the third, and it was nice and all, but what did that really get us? Well, it really got us out of the running for Jaden Daniels. That's exactly what happened. Tommy DeVito is the reason why the Giants do not have Jaden Daniels right now. So when you put that into when you put that into, I guess, aspect, I don't think a lot of Giants fans want to win this game, and I think they're going to be rooting for the Giants to lose. I'm probably going to be doing the same thing. It sucks to say, but that's where we're at as a fan base, as a franchise. And unfortunately, that's how the draft works. The teams with the worst record, they get the highest picks. And, you know, obviously the Giants have an avenue to trade, but then they would have to trade the entire farm, and we were unsuccessful of doing that last year, so you kind of don't want to put yourself in that position this year. The Giants have no aspirations of playoffs this year. I mean, forget about moral victories. We've had tons of moral victories throughout the years, throughout a whole decade of winning games late in the season and just winning your way out of draft spots. I think this is the time where the Giants, of course the players aren't going to tank, but the Giants are just that bad. They'll be scrappy. They'll have something to look forward to next season. Yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of the fan base just wanting to lose this game, including myself.
Let's go from Sunday morning to Sunday afternoon for what I find to be one of the games of the weekend. It's the 6-2 Pittsburgh Steelers heading to Washington to take on the 7-2 Washington Commanders. What a game this will be. A lot of people have been saying the Commanders have played nobody. A lot of people have been saying the Steelers have played nobody. Something's got to give in Washington this upcoming weekend. And for Rio's Commanders, this is a big one because if they win it, they'll take that into Thursday night next week against Al's Eagles. And man, does it start getting interesting at the top of the NFC East. But they got to get this one done first. The question is, Al, do the Commanders get the W against Pittsburgh, or does Russell Wilson keep going at the pace he's at with this Steelers team that's been averaging nearly 30 points the last 3 weeks?
No, the Washington Commanders don't get this win. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think Commanders are going to bring it, and I think the Steelers are going to bring it too. But I just think the Steelers are going to make more plays than the Commanders, and I don't see the Commanders winning this game, man. Like I seen y'all struggle against Chicago. Some good teams. Yeah. I don't know, bro. Y'all was just in a dogfight with the Giants.
If we're playing the record game, the Bears were 4-2 when we won that game. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's fair, but it came down to a Hail Mary, man.
But it happened, though, right?
I mean, it happened, but
the best defenses the Commanders have played this year, right? The Giants twice, the Bears, and the Browns. Commanders won all of them. Now, this is going to be another test defensively, I would say, for Jaden Daniels, but they've proven it. So with that, Al, do you think it's a close game here, or do you think Pittsburgh runs away with it?
No, it's definitely a close game for sure. I think it's going to be a back and forth, but I think the Steelers defense is going to make a play, whereas though it's going to shift the game, and I think they win the game 27-24, something like that. It's going to be like in that range, but I mean, give it to the Steelers. And maybe I'm being biased, of course, but I give it to the Steelers.
Jay Tuck, we know Rio's feeling himself right now, man. He's at a peak high. Is he going to be riding that high into next week on the recap episode, or the Steelers going to humble him a little bit this weekend?
This is going to be a tough. I think it's going to be an even match. But if I'm to go with someone, I'm going to go with the Steelers, right? I'm going to go with the Steelers to win this game. Mike Tomlin, TJ Watt. I don't trust Russ, though. I trust Jaden more than I trust. I'm gonna go with the Steelers to win this game. I think it's gonna be a close one.
KB, what's the verdict?
Man, this one is a hard one. You got the Steelers coming off a bye.
Come on, KB.
You got the Steelers coming off a bye. Jaden Daniels coming off a good win. The Washington Commanders as a whole coming off as a good win. But you know what? I'm going to stick with my brothers here, and I'm going to say the Steelers are going to ride this one out. I'm going to pull out the towels and pray on you guys' downfall. I'm going to let Russ cook in this game, and we're going to see what happens. Listen, it's a strong defense. Steelers got a strong defense. Russell Wilson kind of had a little bit of a slow start, but against the Giants, he looked pretty damn good. I'm hoping that he comes off this bye week and looks just as good, maybe even better. So I'm going to say the Steelers win this one. The Steelers have been finding ways to win games. They've been winning. They've been winning very well in these so far this season. Even if they're ugly, they always find a way. So that's gonna definitely play a part in this game. Washington has blown out a couple of teams. I don't see that happening if they do pull out a victory. If Washington wins, it's gonna be close. If the Steelers win, it's gonna be close. But I have the Steelers with a slight edge there. So I'll have them win a close one. I'll say like some like 24-21, baby. There we go.
Rio, all the fellas are doubting you. Go ahead and tell them why they're wrong. Let's hear it.
Bless all of your hearts to start. Bless all of your hearts, man. I feel you though. I would want to see us lose this game on Sunday too, because I keep hearing like we've been battle tested versus good defenses this year. The Giants have the best defensive line in all of football. I want people to know how good Washington's offensive line is playing. It's a top 7 unit in the league. The Giants' defensive line, who lead the NFL, and they're on a historic clip of sacking the quarterback. clean sheet on Sunday. Jaden did not get touched on Sunday. He barely got pressure. No sacks on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sam Cosmi had Dexter Lawrence in the Matrix. So we've seen him. We played against Myles Garrett
Double
earlier
teaming
this
him.
season, the reigning defensive player of the year. He didn't register a tackle versus us. Not a tackle, not a pressure, not a sack. He did exactly what I did watching the game on my couch. So we've seen good defenses. We didn't beat nobody. We beat a 4-2 Bears team a couple weeks ago. You can say it's off a Hail Mary. We beat them. You know who's the number one team in the NFC West? Who in this division has beat a team that's number one in their division right now? Nobody but us. The Arizona Cardinals are the number one team in the NFC West. They have 5 wins. We beat the dog shit out the Arizona Cardinals, 42-14. So who hasn't beat anybody? Nobody in the division has a crazy success. I'm just saying. I'm just
Cut his mic, man. Cut his mic.
I'm just pointing out the facts of the matter here. I'm looking at this Steelers game. Yes, they were starting running back Justin Fields at the time, but Tuck's trash ass team beat them, and they beat them in Pittsburgh. I watched KB's trash ass team should have beat them on Monday Night Football not too long ago. A couple weeks ago, if Daniel Jones had 2 or 3 brain cells, they win that football game. So I've seen this Pittsburgh Steelers team play. They've played against one competent offense all year, and that was week 1 versus the Atlanta Falcons. They played against a bunch of bum offenses, and Russell Wilson, he's making plays. The offense has a pulse and a heartbeat because unlike Justin Fields, he's capable of throwing the football. His athleticism is a diminished version of what he used to be in Seattle, and there's not as much juice on his arm anymore, but he can make the throws. Najee Harris, for whatever reason, is good at football this year. He's on a tear. He's had over 100 yards for a couple weeks in a row. George Pickens is a demon. I wish they could release him so he could come play with somebody like Jaden Daniels, because that guy deserves better than what that offense restricts him to at times. But the fact of the matter is their defense is what leads them. Their offense does not put any fear in my heart. And I think if the game goes into the 20s, we're going to win it because we're middle of the pack and climbing defense. We're going to make life miserable for Russell Wilson. Watch how we played against Caleb Williams. Watch how we played against Kyler Murray. Cliff Kingsbury coached both of those guys. Well, Dan Quinn coached on a team with Russell Wilson. Bobby Wagner played on a team with Russell Wilson. We're going to have that guy's number on Sunday. And Jaden Daniels is going to find ways to make things happen because he's going to have time, because he has time every week. Washington's going to win this football game. They're going to win it by 10 points still, 24-14. The fact that people aren't mentioning this game is in Washington. This game is not in Pittsburgh. We have not taken a loss at home yet. We're going 5-0 at home for the first time since the 80s, and 8-2 for the first time since 1986. We're walking into Philadelphia on Thursday at the Link, and our all whites ready to go 8-2. Talk to me nice.
An interesting stat of note, Mike Tomlin in his career, 25-6 against rookie quarterbacks would be a major W for the Commanders. But certainly silence a lot of those doubters, Rio, if they pull off one of more improbable wins in terms of Mike Tomlin's career against rookie quarterback. Let's go from 1 p.m. to the 4 p.m. window where we have an interdivisional battle. The Commanders, Rio's Commanders, will be taking on Eagles next week, both looking to get W's so that they can fight for the top of the division in that Thursday night matchup. But Rio's Commanders got to get it done against the Steelers first. Al's Eagles got to get it done against the Cowboys, who will be without Dak Prescott this upcoming week in Dallas. Right now, Philadelphia is a 7.5-point road favorite against the Cowboys here in week 10 on the road. Philly really clicking on all cylinders right now, coming off of another W. They're at 6-2. They're looking like they are coming into form here at the midway point of the year. Rio, I'll kick it back to you right here. Just your overall thoughts on the Eagles in this position and their ability to get it done against Dallas.
I so badly wish that Dallas could make this a game and somehow pull the upset, because I'd like a little cushion and a little insurance in case Pittsburgh comes down to town and gets us on Sunday, because it is possible. It's 2 good football teams, but there's not 2 good football teams playing in Dallas on Sunday. Philly is going to they're going to demolish the Cowboys. It's going to be like 34-10 or something like that. Cooper Rush is going to look competent-ish, but I think a lot of the Cooper Rush delusion that a lot of people throwing around, you know how some people say Cooper Rush was better than Dak Prescott. I think we're going to end that conversation this year, because when a backup quarterback is on an extended sample size, they come back to life at some point. I think we're going to see that this time, that Cooper Rush gets a run with a really bad roster this time.
KB, your thoughts on the Eagles versus the Cowboys?
Oh, man. So is Cooper Rush the starter? He is the starter.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Okay. Shout out to Cooper Rush, man. He was a Giants backup for like a year, and he looked more confident than Daniel Jones.
Everybody is.
My God. But shout out to Cooper Rush, man. But yeah, I don't see the Cowboys pulling off this game. I think if you look at the trends of where both of these teams are going, yeah, the Eagles had a little bit of kind of stumbling blocks here and there, and they barely squeaked out a win against the Browns. Then they came back to life against the Giants, and then they wound up beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're feeling good right now. They're feeling good, and so I think they're on the right track, like we said in the live show. And we look at the Cowboys. They lost Dak Prescott. Their injury report keeps stacking up. Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, the list goes on and on. Jay Tuck says he can't even name his cornerback too. So, I mean, at this point,
still can't.
At this point, man, it's like, I don't know how we cannot give it to the Eagles at this point. And they want to be competing with the Commanders. They want this game. I don't see them dropping here. I don't see Cooper Rush beating the Eagles, and I don't see the Eagles losing the Cooper Rush. So that's how simply you can put it. So I'm gonna have the Eagles probably dominating this game.
Al, I got a feeling you got a similar sentiment here. How's it going down on Sunday?
Yeah, domination. I mean, we owe y'all too, man. Y'all destroying us in Dallas since 2017. So we're going to come into this game. I think Nick Sirianni is going to keep the same mindset, but it's going to execute. Like, he's going to stay aggressive, and we're going to get the points. He's going to get those 2-point conversions. So this one could get really ugly. It could be like a 40-17 type game, especially if we all healthy. I think Devontae Smith dealing with a hamstring, but I think he's going to try to play, and everybody else is just healthy and ready to go. So this game can get really, really ugly. I mean, secondary's looking good. I think Cooper Rush is probably going to try to test Quinyon Mitchell. Then Darius Slay is going to be back, and Cooper DeJean. I just don't know what you guys can do against us at this point. We're going to run the ball, probably play action, and get AJ and Devontae Smith involved, even Dallas Goedert. So we might be sitting out, resting up in the fourth quarter while the Washington Commanders probably just had a dogfight with the Steelers. So we're going to be well rested going into that Washington game.
Super confident is Al J. Tuck. Is there a possibility here for the Cowboys, or do they at least keep it close? How do you see it going down?
Yeah, this is going to be a dog walk. So every Saquon Barkley over on BetUS, you slam it. You slam your life savings on it because it's going to be a field day, right? And I feel like, one, it's not only because it's Cowboys versus Eagles. Kellen Moore needs his lick back, right? And I feel like Nick Sirianni is going to want Kellen Moore to get his lick back. And what better way to do it at home versus Dallas Cowboys, even though they limped out, and I might be starting at cornerback, so I might need to take my cleats out there. But it's just like, I feel like they're going to be way too much for this Cowboys defense. And offensively, we've already talked about lack of run game. We talked about lack of wide receiver weapons. We talked about a young offensive line. Now you put Cooper Rush as a sitting duck behind that. It's going to look a lot different. So for all the people who want to move on from Dak Prescott and say Cooper Rush is much better, well, let's have that. Let's take a look. Let's all see, is he really who people think he is? Now, I don't think he is. I think by the third quarter, you will see Trey Lance being rolled out there because the game is going to be out of hand. Salute to Vegas for giving us only -7.5. I appreciate you. I appreciate the free money. We all got kids. We got Christmas coming up. I appreciate the free money because I'm definitely taking Philly over 7.5. If they don't cover, I would be absolutely shocked.
There you have it, folks. The Week 10 predictions are locked in. Can't wait to recap them on the Week 10 recap episode of the NFC East Roundtable next week. In order to be notified of that episode and all upcoming episodes, do us a favor on the way out the door. Click the like button and hit that subscribe button. That way we can let you know when we are live. Also on the way out the door, all the lines we discussed tonight, in addition to all of the other Week 10 lines, are currently up right now on BetUS, and you can take advantage of our promo code YouTube150, and that'll get you a 150% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next two after that. For Al, J Tuck, KB, and Rio, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much for tuning in to the NFC East Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next one.